Hello, I'm Kendra. Welcome to Hooked by Happenstance Makes Monday, episode number 21, Howl. So, what is a howl? It is a basically shriek or cry of like a dog or wolf, or it is the sound of very strong wind, that wailing noise. If you'd like to hear it, you can come hang out at my house where there has been howling going on constantly from the wind side of things. It has been incredibly windy. A lot, on and off this week. And when it's not windy, you're just waiting for the wind to start up again. But that has kind of put a little bee in my bonnet, so to speak, about the fact that I need to get my warm accessories and other items that I've made together for the winter. So today, I took the opportunity to fold all of my handmade garments in my closet, see what I had, kind of, you know, get a feel for what I need, what I do and do not wear, and maybe so I can do a better job of wearing everything. So that was good. And it has also made my throat have a little tickle in it. So there's going to be more tea sipping today than usual because I'm in those early hours of when you know you've got a little thing happening in your throat where your throat's finally recognizing it and it's like, hey, this isn't going away. Could you fix it? And you're like, no, I can't. That's your job. So, excuse the tea sipping. At least I have a festive fall mug that I use year round, but it's festive right now. Okay, so I mentioned that I organized my my handmade items and things to wear for the winter. I also went ahead and did a little bit of organizing of my projects this week. If you'll notice, there was a new Freaker Frog on the channel this week, and I've been doing lots of Freaker Frogs. This was number 10, and I have unearthed many projects, and I have started and not completed a number of projects too since I started filming this podcast. So I went ahead and I made an actual physical on my hook list that has a, you know, a visual representation of all of my projects. This week, I have one card to show you that I have now removed off of that list on things that I've completed. So we'll start there with what is off my hook. The first thing that I completed was the Check Me Out mitts. They first appeared here at Hooked by Happenstance on the YouTube channel in Freaker Frog number 2 in July of 2017. Now, I actually started these mitts closer to 6 or 8 months ago, but we'll go with July. July is plenty long enough. I had the left one complete. I actually finished these last night. The left one was complete, except it didn't have like the ribbing, and I hadn't done the like the final stitching around the top and the thumb hole. So I just made the right one, and I was wearing them tonight, and they're very comfy, and I like them. So I'm glad to have another pair of fingerless mitts. It's the right time of year, and fingerless mitts are frequently a thing I like in the evenings as it gets cooler in the house when I'm hooking and stuff at night. It's nice to have a little something to put on to warm my hands because I can snuggle up under a blanket, but if I want to stay being productive, my hands have to stay out, and this is a good way to keep that going. It also helps to keep some warmth around my hands as it gets colder to help them from getting too fatigued. So I'm really happy to have the Check Me Out mitts to add to my collection. Now, these are actually a pattern that I was writing. I made a hat and a scarf set that was published through a different website, and there was going to eventually be mitts that matched. These are them. They didn't happen, so now I have some mitts. So that is that on that completion. Another thing that I completed this week, this is actually the first thing I completed this week, was my headphone covers. As you can see from my new wireless headphones that I really enjoyed the pink color, but they had white in addition to like on the ears. There's white along the top, and I just wasn't a big fan of that. Plus, then they didn't have ears on them. So this is some Karen Simply Soft Party, and I just went ahead and covered it with a little band and then threw some ears on. I had started this a little while back and had gotten like partially done with the band, and then it just kind of got backburnered, and I decided that I wanted them done because I was already starting to notice a little bit of wear and tear on the white, and I wasn't enjoying that. So now I have some fun ears to wear when I'm listening to audiobooks, VKNing, or just generally editing and things like that with my headphones on. So that has been a fun little thing I completed this week. And the final thing off my hook this week was this cowl. I started this yesterday evening. I finished the mitts, and then I wasn't done hooking for the night, and I wasn't really in the headspace to work on the projects I was already working on. So I wanted to do something new that would like keep my mind occupied. So I decided to pull out a skein of wool-ease in dark rose heather, I believe, which is this purpley color. It's leftovers from some fingerless mitts I made for my mom while I was visiting in California last year. And I just went as far as I could go with that. I used a stitch out of my stitch dictionary and just kind of made it up. Actually, I was going this way. And then I went, and after I ran out of that leftover piece, I pulled some woolies out of my stash that I had been yarn fairied. This is like the natural color. The label is gone. It was gone when I got it, but it came in a bag with other wool-ease, and there was some that had been labeled that matched in the same color. And then finally I added on this one. Now I did not use all of the like natural color I had, but I did an equal amount to the like rose heather color. So it's about 12 inches of each color, and it has a couple repeats of each. So, and then I switched to the dark brown, did that, and then I just sewed the two together, and now I have a nice squishy, it's so like cozy and just exactly the kind of cowl I was looking for. It's long enough that it actually provides me warmth in the front, because I like to wear cowls and things that are long enough to like cover my tummy some, because then, you know, they actually keep me warm. These aren't just decorative things. I need them because we don't heat our house super warm in the winter. If we can, we just use the wood stove. So that means it can be pretty chilly. And I also like with the 3 colors that it gives me a lot of options as far as like depending on what I'm wearing it with, what I can put forward. I could put a brooch on it. There's a lot of ways to play with it. And I enjoyed working this stitch. I did have to keep referencing it though. The way that the pattern repeat works in it, my brain just couldn't remember for sure where I was. Now mind you, I was finishing up an audiobook that I was really enjoying, so my brain was like 1/10 here with this project and 90% in my book. So I did just keep referencing the picture. I snapped a picture on my phone out of my stitch dictionary, and then I could just keep referencing just the diagram without having to worry about the book. So that was a quick and easy project that I'm looking for. I will probably wear it tomorrow. Now, what is still on my hook? I still have a number of projects on my hook. When I made my on the hook list, I had 16 projects up there. Now, the ears did not go up there because I had finished them before I made that list, and this cowl didn't even make it onto the on the hook list because I started it and finished it before I could even get in here to make a card for it. So, that is that on those. But I did work on some things that were on my on the hook list. The first thing I worked on, I showed you this last week, and I had just started the ribbing. But this is the project I mainly worked on Monday night when I was editing, and then Tuesday. And this is my fall sweater. So now we have, this is the full width. I think this is the back, but the back and the front are basically the same at the bottom portion. So this is made out of some, I love this wool in the color Earth Tones. I believe this yarn is discontinued, but it was from Hobby Lobby, 93% wool, 70% polyamide, and it is a number 4 medium weight yarn. It's, you know, normal worsted stuff. It was yarn fairied to me by one of my hubby's co-workers. There was like enough in there to make an Afghan, so I think there should be plenty to make myself a sweater. I am using the Karen Over Easy Cowl Neck Crochet Sweater pattern. It is free on their website. And I am using a size J hook to give it the, that's what, it met gauge at that point, but it also just gave it the feel that I was looking for. I tried a little bit with some other sizes, and a J was a comfortable both for hooking, and I think it will be very wearable. So I am looking forward to putting some more work into this. These colors just, they're so snuggly and cozy, and they make up for some of that crazy making wind out there. I also put a little bit more love into my yarn fairy baby blanket, though like hardly any, but most of the love was in frogging. I had done the rest of the white ball, but it didn't quite make it all the way around, so I went ahead and frogged it out, and then I started in with this tealy blue. So there's a second shade of blue getting added, and this is just kind of I take it in the car and stuff because there's zero counting involved, so I can still chat with my family, and if I have to keep putting it down, it's not a big deal. So that has been a nice project to have something that's like really truly mindless. And I always drop my hook, so I don't want to lose it. I'm using a number 7 4.5 millimeter on that one, and that is out of some mystery baby yarn that I had been yarn fairyed by the same person actually who gave me the yarn for my fall sweater. So that has been fun to work on, and I do want to do some more on that too. I want to do all the things right now. And the last thing that I put a lot of time into this week, well, a lot of time as far as time goes. I didn't necessarily spend a huge amount of time crocheting this week, but I worked on my mom's cardigan, which is hung up. What's hung up? There it is. Okay, so here it is. This is the Carberry cardigan pattern from the Velvet Acorn. It's a paid for pattern on Ravelry. It's actually a children's pattern, but my mom's measurements aren't that different than my 8-year-old's, so I just went ahead and made the modifications where I needed to make sure that I met her measurements. So I have the body all the way done. I had that done last week. I've started adding the sleeve. The button bands are now all the way done on both sides. That took a little bit of work because a bunch of the extra like girth that I added to the sweater to make it go from a children's pattern to an adult woman's is in the bust. So I didn't have to add a lot, but I did make the button bands. I don't know, probably twice as big as I had made them on my daughter's version, just to provide that extra bit of coverage that was going to be needed to make it all the way around my mom. And that is everything that I completed this week. I also did do a strung out project. There is a video up with my yarntail shawl for this week, and I put a decent amount, like a whole day's worth of work into things for the We Hook Wednesday pouches. I am almost done with all of the prototypes. So the last batch of pockets, oh, excuse me, the last 10 or 11 pockets, I'm almost done with all the patterns and the prototypes that I can film the videos. I know I'm behind, but they will all be out to meet the deadline that they need to. They just might not all come out, you know, 1 week at a time. And that, as I'm looking around, really is everything I did this week. But, you know, I'm very happy. I came out of it with some cool headphones, some toasty hands, and a new cowl to wear tomorrow. So, no complaints here. This week I'm going to put a bunch of love into my mom's cardigan because I do, like I said, want that out of here by Halloween. And then the other thing that's probably going to get a bunch of love is that fall sweater because, well, it's fall and I want a sweater. So that is it. If you are interested in fall themed bags, I did put out an Etsy update as well. There is a link in the description box down below because I will see you all next time. Bye!